Black history is not just Black folks. It's American history uniquely because without the creation of this country, as you go back to 1619, idea of a caste system on race and location to develop a slave trade that becomes the backbone of this country, there wouldn't be Black history. It would just be American history. And that's why I see it as Black History Month, though, is an opportunity to reflect on American history through the lens of how it impacts Black people in this.
It's a time to reflect on all of our accomplishments, past and present. It's a time to be grateful for all of the sacrifices our ancestors have made and that we continue to make to achieve a more equitable society. And it's a time to celebrate, definitely, because I think that our accomplishments continue to reflect upon our resilience, our tenacity, and our willingness to succeed through adversity.
A moment of pause, a moment of recognition. They have that old quote, until lions have their own historians, tells of the hunt shall always glorify the hunter. And Black History Month, in my opinion, is a moment uh, where the world can know more about the plight, the history of people of color.
So to me, Black History Month is about putting stories out there about Black history that we may not have been taught in school, stories that talk about success or joy or celebration of Black lives, not just the big names like Martin Luther King and James Baldwin, but everyone who was part of Black history, mainly focusing on uplifting the Black community and not just the story of victimization that we learned growing up, really owning our narrative and sharing that with others.
Being a man of color, one of the things that we kind of looked at was the fact that there's an overwhelming population as far as those who are defendants and those who are victims of crime. And also in those victims of crime area, less likely to receive services because they're less likely to engage with police because of the distrust and all of the stuff that we've seen to be true in the media. So having someone there to really represent the intentionality of being able to engage Black victims has been something that's a public safety model, especially following through gay vaccination.
A major part of my role is interacting with people from all different walks of life. And I think who I am definitely does bring forth a sense of familiarity as well as empowerment to people who look like me. And, you know, all in all, Manhattan is a very diverse place. And I think it's important for that diversity to be reflected all throughout the office.
As a member of the executive board of the Black Professionals Affinity Group, I feel like I'm in a position where I can help foster community and connect people to one another who may share certain aspects of their identity, such as identifying as a Black person, but also might be part of different generations or work in distant parts of the office. Like, my role really intersects with my identity because I'm working alongside and supporting a DA who not only is the first Black DA in Manhattan, but really cares about uplifting voices of people who have been ignored historically, by meeting with the affinity groups and also by having a reentry advisory council, special victims and youth advisory councils, making sure that voices are heard that have long been ignored.
So, of course, when I first started here, I didn't know anyone, and I feel like the Black Affinity Professional Group really did a great job of making me feel welcome, making me feel a sense of community. And as I just said earlier, I think it's important to see people who look like me just so I can experience that same familiarity and that same empowerment that I want to give to others. So, yeah, it's a great resource.
Making sure that systems such as the DA's office, all law enforcement, social systems, are efficient, are fair, are just, equitable, is also part of sort of my calling, if you will, my reason. More people who are from where we're from need to occupy these type of spaces. We have perspectives, lenses, opinions, experiences that can help make these systems whole, make these systems complete, to the point that it is actually fair and just.
So now that we have this history, it is important that we focus on the impact it has on society today. And if you don't focus on the past and why we have the history, then we're going to just repeat it. And I think in that sense, it's very important to always reflect on why we have the struggles we've had as a nation to become a more perfect human. It is through the process of reflecting on our history, particularly Black history in America, that we're able to make the change. I think we're able to make the changes.